Since it's another holiday weekend, I thought I'd talk about what the visiting room is actually like. Once you make it into the visiting room as a civilian, I think I talked a little bit about that before. You sit there and you wait for your loved one who's incarcerated to come on down. And when you're called, you go on into the visiting room where you're frisked before you go in, and they have you take your shoes off and you shake out your shoes. They note what jewelry you're wearing, if you have eyeglasses or not. Because I had a cane, I think they also marked the cane, and they would take your permits for such things, because you'd have permits for your rings, for your earrings, for a cane, all that. So, I mean, I just needed a wallet actually. But anyway, you go in, and my grandson would come running to greet me. Oh, Grandma. And I'd get a big hug. And, everybody would look and go, oh. And always waiting for me was a paper plate with fresh fruit on it, sliced up, and it was in different designs, some kind of happy face. It was really kind of sweet. That's one of the things my grandson would do. And then he would also arrange fruits, not fruit, he would arrange Skittles so we could play hockey with them. This was our big event on the table. It became routine for us. Now, the thing you need to understand, the vending machines, while I'd like to say the food is fairly fresh, that's debatable, it's very expensive. So if you are on a budget as a civilian, it's kind of hard to afford this. It's cheaper to go out to eat at McDonald's, actually, than it is to handle the vending machines. Fresh fruit, I think, was $5, and you're not looking at a huge container. Very often there were pieces that were past its ripen date. There was ice cream. It was a really cool ice cream machine, too, because you'd watch it come down and suck up the ice cream and pop it out. There were some sandwiches and wraps. There was no coffee. There was no tea. You could buy bottled water. I believe you could buy soda also. Interestingly enough, after the visit, all of the tables and chairs were flipped over. I never understood why until a friend of mine actually worked the visiting room. There are people, civilians, who would sneak in drugs or other contraband and attach it underneath the table or chairs. And then they would work out with whoever was cleaning that such and such was under such and such table or chairs, and they'd bring it back up with them. Kind of interesting. I didn't catch on to this till much later. About the worst thing I think I ever did that you can call contraband was a relative bringing in a piece of Trident's bubble gum, sugarless bubble gum. And I craved this. And it was funny because she slipped it to me. And as I'm chewing, she goes, they're watching. So I'd stop chewing. And gum is not allowed in prison because apparently you can put it in the lock of the door so the door doesn't lock. And I guess people have tried this and escaped. I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't a particularly intelligent criminal. I never saw why people would do things. Just do your time and get out of there. There will be a barbecue probably on the 4th of July outside. It'll be served buffet format. And it's exciting for probably most inmates because it's 100% beef patties, no soy, real chicken. Sometimes you might get hot dogs. There's, real baked beans. You have watermelon ice cream, soda, things that you wouldn't normally get, and coleslaw. Sometimes people would actually use their own recipes and make potato salad if they worked in the mess hall. So it wasn't what on the outside we call a celebration, but on the inside you look for anything that's different, that brings you some kind of joy, even if it's just for 5 minutes. And you were also allowed to bring this food back to your housing unit, which is something that is rare. So between a vending machine visit and a holiday visit, it's an interesting dichotomy because you want your visit, but you also want this food from the barbecue. So ideally, your visitors don't come on the day of the barbecue, but it doesn't always work that way. And honestly, I would have taken a visit over the barbecue at any date. But anyway, while you're sitting down and eating with friends and or family today or enjoying fireworks, that's what it's all about. From my room, I could see fireworks in Westchester. You know, they just kind of hid behind the trees, and it was bittersweet for me because my wedding anniversary was 4th of July, and my first 4th of July in prison was the first time I was divorced. So it was difficult, but it made me stronger in the end. Anyway, happy Independence Day.